The calm before the storm. In the cold, empty reaches of space, the alien fleet drifted like a dark, menacing cloud. The command ship, a massive vessel with sleek, sharp edges, loomed over the smaller ships in its command. Alien generals and officers bustled about, their voices a hum of anticipation. The fleet's leader, General Varkas, stood at the center of it all, a towering figure with scales that shimmered in the dim light of the command center. General Varkas was a veteran of many battles. His confidence was unshakable, his reputation feared across the galaxy. Today, he prepared for what he expected to be another easy victory. The target was a small, isolated planet, home to a primitive race known as humans. Varkas had heard of their resilience, but he dismissed their strength as mere myth. The command center was filled with the soft glow of holographic maps and status displays. Alien officers moved quickly, their eyes darting from one screen to another. The general reviewed the final battle plans with a sense of detached satisfaction. His fleet was large and powerful, a testament to their advanced technology and military might. Each ship was equipped with the latest weaponry and shields, and their numbers were overwhelming. "The humans will be crushed under the weight of our firepower," General Varkas said with a sneer. His voice was calm but held a cold edge. He tapped a glowing control panel, bringing up a schematic of the enemy's defenses, or rather, the lack of them. "Our scouts report that their forces are minimal and poorly equipped. They won't stand a chance." The alien officers nodded, their expressions a mix of eagerness and indifference. They had fought countless enemies, and none had managed to challenge their superiority. This battle was seen as a formality, a routine operation before moving on to more significant conquests. Varkas's attention shifted to a new report flashing on his screen. A small, unidentified ship had entered the sector. The ship was human, and it was heading straight for their fleet. At first, Varkas barely registered the news. A single ship was insignificant, hardly worth noting amidst the massive armada that surrounded him. "General, we've detected a human ship approaching," an officer announced. "It appears to be a lone vessel." Varkas' eyes narrowed. A single human ship? How amusing. It must be a scouting vessel or a stray craft. No matter. We'll deal with it swiftly and move on. He chuckled softly. The notion that this tiny speck of metal could pose any threat to his mighty fleet was laughable. Varkas's confidence was unwavering. The human ship, while noted, was quickly dismissed as a trivial concern. His focus remained on the broader strategy. The real target was the planet below, and the sooner they dealt with this minor distraction, the sooner they could proceed with their plan. As the hours passed, the alien fleet continued its preparations. The ships moved into their designated positions, aligning themselves for the assault. Varkas gave final orders, ensuring that every ship was ready for the impending battle. The hum of engines and the clatter of alien machinery filled the command center, creating an atmosphere of tense excitement. The human ship, meanwhile, approached the fleet. From a distance, it looked like nothing more than a tiny flickering light. On board, the crew was calm but focused. They knew they were facing a vastly superior force, but their determination and courage were unshakable. They had been trained for this, and they were prepared to give their all. General Varkas glanced at the view screen, seeing the approaching ship as nothing more than a small blip against the backdrop of the vast, dark void. He turned to his officers, a smirk on his face. "Prepare to engage the human ship. Let's show them why we are the supreme force in the galaxy." The alien officers responded with efficient nods. The fleet's guns were primed, and the energy shields hummed with readiness. The stage was set for what Varkas anticipated would be a brief and straightforward engagement. The human ship's approach was a mere formality, a chance to demonstrate the might of the alien fleet and then move on to their grander objectives. With everything in place, Varkas allowed himself a moment of relaxation. He was confident in his victory, and he had no reason to believe otherwise. The human ship, small and insignificant, would soon be nothing more than a memory. Little did Varkas know, This seemingly insignificant ship would soon become the center of a battle that would challenge everything he believed about the galaxy and its inhabitants. The calm before the storm was about to shatter, and the true extent of human resilience and power was about to be revealed. But for now, in the command center of the alien fleet, all was calm, and the storm was still a distant rumble. The first clash. As the alien fleet prepared for its assault, the small human ship continued its approach. On board, the crew moved with a mixture of calm and urgency. The ship, named Endurance, was a marvel of human engineering. Its sleek design and advanced technology made it seem almost out of place among the more massive and imposing alien vessels. Captain Sarah Bennett, the leader of the Endurance crew, stood at the command console. She scanned the display screens with a determined look. The ship's sensors had picked up the alien fleet's massive presence. The odds were daunting, but the crew was ready. They had trained for scenarios like this, and their resolve was strong. "All right, team," Captain Bennett said, her voice steady. "We're about to enter hostile territory. The aliens are expecting an easy victory, but we're here to show them they're wrong. Prepare for engagement." Her crew responded with quick, practiced movements. The ship's weapon systems powered up, and the shields activated. Every member of the crew knew their role and performed it with precision. They had faced dangers before, but this was different. The size and power of the alien fleet were intimidating, but the humans were driven by a fierce determination. As the Endurance closed in on the alien fleet, the vastness of the alien armada became more apparent. The massive ships loomed in the void of space, their dark hulls reflecting the distant starlight. The sight was impressive, and for a moment, even the most seasoned crew member felt a shiver of apprehension. General Varkas, aboard his command ship, was monitoring the approach of the human vessel with a detached interest. He glanced at the view screen, noting the tiny human ship as it drew nearer. His eyes held a glint of amusement. "Ready all weapons," Varkas ordered. "Let's end this quickly. I want to make an example of this ship and move on." The alien fleet began to position itself, the enormous guns of the warships tracking the small human vessel. The crew of the Endurance could see the alien ships on their own screens, their sensors picking up the deadly intent of the approaching armada. "Captain, the aliens are preparing to fire," one of the officers reported, their voice tense. "Brace for impact," Captain Bennett commanded. "We need to hold our position and return fire as soon as we have a clear shot." The crew tightened their grips on their stations, the tension palpable. The Endurance was about to face its first real test. The alien ships fired their initial volley, and the space around the human ship erupted with bright flashes. The Endurance shook as its shields absorbed the energy blasts. "Shields holding steady," shouted one of the crew members. "We're returning fire." The human ship's weapon systems roared to life, unleashing a series of precise and powerful shots. The energy beams cut through the void, striking the nearest alien ships. The first few hits caused noticeable damage, and the alien ships responded with immediate counterattacks. General Varkas' expression changed from amusement to surprise. The human ship's attacks were more effective than he had anticipated. The alien ships began to take hits, their shields flickering and hulls scorched. "Increase firepower," Varkas ordered, his voice sharp with irritation. "I want that ship destroyed now." The alien fleet unleashed a barrage of firepower, filling the space around the Endurance with deadly energy. The human ship maneuvered with agility, weaving between the incoming blasts. The crew worked in perfect harmony, their training evident in every move. The battle raged fiercely. The Endurance's crew fought with relentless determination, their focus unwavering despite the overwhelming odds. Each blast from the alien ships was met with a counterattack, each maneuver a calculated move to stay out of the path of destruction. Captain Bennett's eyes were fixed on the display screens, her mind racing through strategies and counter-strategies. She knew that survival depended on their ability to adapt and outthink their opponents. "Target their weak points," Bennett ordered. "Concentrate fire on the enemy's engines and weapon systems. We need to disable them to reduce their threat." The crew responded swiftly, adjusting their targeting systems to focus on the vulnerable parts of the alien ships. The human ship's shots were more precise now, striking key areas of the enemy fleet. Alien ships began to falter, their movements less coordinated as they struggled to respond to the precise attacks. Varkas watched in disbelief as his fleet's once immense superiority began to erode. The alien ships were taking heavier losses than he had ever imagined. His eyes narrowed in frustration, and he slammed his fist on the command console. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Why are we losing ships?" The alien officers scrambled to provide answers, their voices filled with confusion and concern. The battle that had seemed so simple was rapidly turning into a chaotic struggle. As the first wave of alien ships was significantly damaged, the remaining vessels hesitated. The human ship had proven to be far more formidable than anticipated. General Varkas's once confident demeanor was now replaced with a growing sense of dread. The Endurance pressed its advantage, exploiting the alien fleet's disarray. Each successful hit further demoralized the enemy, turning the tide of the battle. The initial clash, which had seemed so one-sided, was now a fierce contest where the human ship was emerging as an unexpected threat. The first clash of the battle was far from over, but it was clear that the human ship had already made a powerful statement. The galaxy was watching, and the outcome of this engagement would have far-reaching consequences for both the alien fleet and humanity's place in the cosmos. The battle intensifies. The space around the alien fleet had become a chaotic battleground. The Endurance had turned what was supposed to be a simple victory for the aliens into a fierce and unexpected struggle. The once confident General Varkas was now grappling with a situation that was spiraling out of control. Captain Sarah Bennett watched the damage reports flash across her screen. Her crew was focused, working in perfect sync as they adjusted their strategies in real time. The Endurance was holding its own, but the fight was far from over. The alien fleet, though initially surprised, was regrouping and coming at them with renewed intensity. "Captain, the aliens are launching a coordinated attack," reported Lieutenant Harris, his voice tense. "They're focusing their fire on our shields." "Keep our shields up and strengthen the deflector arrays," Bennett ordered. "We need to withstand their assault and continue pressing our advantage." The crew worked quickly, adjusting the ship's systems to maintain their defenses. The Endurance's shields flared brightly as they absorbed the incoming blasts. The ship shook with each impact, but its crew remained resolute. Outside, the battle raged on. The alien ships, now enraged and desperate, unleashed a torrent of energy blasts. Their massive guns fired with relentless force, creating a storm of destruction in the void of space. The human ship's evasive maneuvers were put to the test as it weaved through the barrage, staying ahead of the enemy's fire. "Watch out for those plasma torpedoes," Captain Bennett called out as a new wave of alien weaponry approached. "We need to counter them before they hit." The crew worked with precision, targeting and intercepting the incoming torpedoes with their own defensive fire. The Endurance's weapon systems roared in response, sending out powerful beams of energy that cut through the space between them and the alien fleet. Despite the onslaught, the human ship's return fire was effective. The crew's precise targeting caused significant damage to the alien ships. Hulls were breached, and several alien vessels were engulfed in explosions. The sight of their ships being destroyed in such a manner only fueled the aliens' frustration and anger. General Varkas, now fully aware of the seriousness of the situation, ordered his fleet to adapt their tactics, increase the intensity of the bombardment. "Focus all fire on that human ship. We must crush it before it destroys more of our fleet." The alien ships adjusted their formations, concentrating their firepower on the Endurance. The space around the human vessel was filled with a blinding array of energy blasts and explosions. The crew braced themselves as the ship was battered by the renewed assault. The damage reports came in quickly. Shields were at critical levels, and several systems were beginning to falter. "Captain, our shields are down to 30%, reported Lieutenant Harris. "We need to initiate emergency repairs, or we might lose our defenses." "Do whatever you can to stabilize the shields," Bennett ordered, "and keep targeting their main guns. If we can take out their heavy weaponry, it will reduce the pressure on us." The crew responded swiftly, making emergency repairs and redirecting power to the shields. The Endurance's weapons continued to fire, their energy beams striking the alien ships with deadly accuracy. One by one, the alien vessels fell, their massive forms disintegrating into fiery wreckage. The battle's intensity was taking its toll on both sides. The alien fleet, though powerful, was now facing significant losses. The damage to their ships was causing chaos and confusion. The human ships' relentless assault had forced the aliens to reconsider their approach. General Varkas paced angrily in the command center. His once unshakable confidence was now a mix of anger and disbelief. "How are we still losing?" he demanded. "Where is the flaw in our strategy?" The alien officers scrambled to answer, their voices filled with panic. The tide of battle was turning against them, and their once formidable fleet was now on the defensive. The general's frustration grew as he saw more of his ships fall, one after another. "Reinforce the damaged ships and prepare for a counteroffensive," Varkas ordered. "We cannot afford to lose this battle. Rally every remaining vessel and prepare for a final push." The remaining alien ships regrouped, their damaged vessels slowly recovering as they attempted a final counterattack. The space around the Endurance was now filled with a tumultuous mix of fire and debris. The human ship continued to press its attack, showing no signs of retreat. On board the Endurance, the crew was exhausted but determined. Each member was pushing their limits, their focus unwavering despite the chaos. Captain Bennett watched the battle unfold with a fierce determination. "Keep up the pressure," she ordered. "We're close to breaking their resolve. We cannot let up now." As the battle reached its peak, the Endurance pressed on, its weapons delivering precise and devastating blows. The alien fleet, battered and bruised, began to falter. The once mighty armada was now a shadow of its former self, struggling to maintain its fighting capability. General Varkas, seeing his fleet in disarray and facing imminent defeat, was forced to reconsider his options. The battle that had begun with such certainty was now a desperate fight for survival. The intensity of the battle showed no signs of letting up, but one thing was clear: the human ship had turned the tables on its much larger opponent. The outcome of the clash was uncertain, but the tide had definitely shifted in favor of the determined human crew. The turning point. The battle had reached a fever pitch. The once intimidating alien fleet was now reeling from the relentless assault of the Endurance. The human ship, though smaller and outnumbered, had turned the tide of the conflict. The vacuum of space was filled with the wreckage of fallen alien ships and the flashes of ongoing combat. The alien forces, battered and disoriented, were struggling to regroup. Captain Sarah Bennett stood resolute at the command console, her eyes scanning the chaotic scene before her. The crew of the Endurance was pushed to their limits, but their determination had never wavered. Every member of the crew was focused on their tasks, working together seamlessly to keep their ship in the fight. "Captain, we've damaged their command ship," reported Lieutenant Harris, his voice filled with cautious optimism. "It looks like their control systems are failing. We might be able to push them into retreat if we keep up the pressure." "Good," Bennett said, nodding firmly. "Target their command ship's remaining systems. If we can take out their leadership, it could cause a chain reaction and force the rest of the fleet to surrender." The crew shifted their focus, their targeting systems locking onto the alien command ship. The Endurance's weapons fired with renewed intensity, each blast striking the command ship's crucial systems. The alien vessel shuddered under the onslaught, its hull creaking and groaning as the internal damage mounted. On the alien command ship, General Varkas paced angrily, his frustration evident. The situation was rapidly deteriorating. The damage reports were grim, and the once formidable fleet was now in disarray. The general's attempts to salvage the situation were failing, and his confidence was slipping away. "Get me a status report on all ships," Varkas demanded, his voice strained. "We need to stabilize the fleet and regroup." The officers scrambled to provide answers, their faces a mixture of panic and exhaustion. The command ship systems were failing, and communications between the vessels were increasingly erratic. The alien fleet's once unified assault had broken down into chaotic individual actions. The Endurance took advantage of the confusion. With the alien command ship's systems faltering, the human ship continued its relentless assault. The alien fleet, now leaderless and demoralized, struggled to mount an effective defense. Alien ships that had previously been formidable opponents were now easy targets, their defenses weakened by the ongoing battle. "Captain, their command ship is nearly crippled," reported Lieutenant Harris. "Their remaining ships are losing coordination. It looks like they're starting to fall apart." "Excellent," Bennett replied. "Keep pressing the attack. We need to make sure they can't recover from this. Let's force them into a full retreat." The Endurance's weapons systems fired with precision, targeting the remaining alien ships and dismantling their defenses. The alien fleet, once a formidable force, was now a chaotic mess of damaged vessels and crumbling defenses. The sight of their command ship in ruins was a significant blow to their morale. General Varkas, seeing his fleet on the brink of collapse, felt a surge of desperation. The realization that they were losing the battle was a bitter pill to swallow. His mind raced, searching for any possible way to salvage the situation. "Withdraw the fleet," Varkas ordered with a roar of frustration. "Prepare to jump to hyperspace immediately. We can't afford to lose any more ships." The alien ships began to fall back, their retreat hastened by the damage and disorder that had consumed their ranks. The once dominant fleet was now scrambling to escape the battlefield, their coordinated assault giving way to a chaotic withdrawal. The Endurance watched as the alien fleet attempted to flee. The human ship's sensors tracked the retreating vessels, ensuring that the aliens couldn't regroup or return to the fight. "Captain, they're retreating," Lieutenant Harris reported, a note of triumph in his voice. "We forced them to pull back. The fleet is disintegrating." "Good work, everyone," Bennett said, a smile of relief and pride on her face. "We've turned the tide and defended ourselves against overwhelming odds. Let's continue to monitor the area and ensure they don't come back." As the alien fleet disappeared into the void, the Endurance and its crew took a moment to breathe. The battle was won, but the cost had been high. The human ship was damaged, and the crew was exhausted. But the victory was sweet, a testament to their courage and skill. The turning point in the battle had come when the alien fleet's command ship was crippled. The loss of their leadership had caused confusion and disorder among the alien forces, allowing the Endurance to press their advantage and secure a decisive victory. Captain Bennett looked out at the battlefield, the debris of the alien fleet drifting in the silent expanse of space. It had been a hard-fought battle, but the humans had proven their strength and resilience. "Great job, everyone," Bennett said, her voice filled with pride. "We've shown them what humanity is capable of. Now let's make sure we're prepared for whatever comes next." The crew of the Endurance nodded in agreement, their spirits lifted by the hard-earned victory. They knew that the galaxy was watching, and that their actions had made a significant impact. The battle was over, but the story of their bravery and resilience would continue to resonate throughout the stars. The Annihilation. As the remnants of the alien fleet retreated into the void, the Endurance pursued them with relentless determination. The battle that had begun with the odds stacked against the human ship was now reaching its final, dramatic conclusion. The alien command ship, once a symbol of the fleet's power, was a smoldering wreck. The alien forces were in disarray, and the time had come for the final push. Captain Sarah Bennett stood at the command console, her eyes fixed on the display screens. The alien fleet was now fragmented, their remaining ships struggling to regroup. The Endurance was battered but still operational, and its crew was determined to see the fight through to the end. "Captain, the remaining alien ships are attempting to regroup," Lieutenant Harris reported, his voice filled with urgency. "They're forming a defensive perimeter around their last few intact vessels." "Good," Bennett replied. "We need to finish this. Target their remaining ships and focus on disabling their engines. We don't want any of them escaping." The crew of the Endurance moved swiftly, their actions precise and coordinated. The ship's weapon systems locked onto the alien vessels, the targeting sensors guiding each shot with pinpoint accuracy. The Endurance's energy beams lanced through the dark expanse of space, striking the alien ships with devastating force. Outside, the scene was one of chaos and destruction. The alien ships, now isolated and vulnerable, were hit hard by the human ship's relentless assault. Each blast from the Endurance's weapon systems caused massive explosions, tearing through the alien ship's defenses and hulls. The once proud fleet was now a series of crumbling, fire-ravaged vessels. General Varkas, aboard his severely damaged command ship, watched in horror as his fleet was systematically dismantled. His once imposing armada was now a mere shadow of its former self. The sight of his remaining ships being picked off one by one was almost unbearable. "Why aren't we escaping faster?" Varkas roared, his voice filled with frustration and fear. "We need to regroup and jump to hyperspace now." The remaining alien officers scrambled to follow the general's orders. The command ship's engines struggled to maintain power, and the communications between the fleeing vessels were fraught with static and confusion. The alien fleet's desperate attempt to escape was becoming increasingly disorganized. As the Endurance continued its assault, the alien ship's defensive perimeter began to collapse. The remaining vessels, unable to withstand the human ship's firepower, were falling one after another. The crew of the Endurance pressed on, their determination unwavering as they dismantled the alien fleet piece by piece. "Captain, their engines are failing," reported Lieutenant Harris. "They're losing power and control. It looks like they're unable to make the hyperspace jump." "Keep the pressure on," Bennett ordered. "We can't let any of them escape. We need to ensure they can't regroup or return." The final stages of the battle were brutal. The Endurance's weapon systems were relentless, targeting the remaining alien ships with unyielding precision. The once mighty alien fleet was now reduced to a collection of burning wreckage. The void of space was littered with debris, the remnants of the fleet that had once seemed so formidable. General Varkas, witnessing the utter destruction of his forces, felt a deep sense of despair. The loss was total and catastrophic. His pride and arrogance had led to the downfall of his fleet, and the cost was more than he could have ever imagined. "This is a disaster," Varkas muttered to himself, his voice barely audible. "We're finished." With the last of the alien ships falling, the battle was finally over. The Endurance and its crew had achieved a staggering victory. The alien fleet was annihilated, their forces shattered, and their command ship reduced to a smoldering wreck. Captain Bennett allowed herself a moment of relief as the final reports came in. The alien threat had been decisively neutralized, and the Endurance had survived against overwhelming odds. The crew, though exhausted and battered, was filled with a sense of triumph and pride. "Excellent work, everyone," Bennett said, her voice steady and filled with appreciation. "We've shown them the strength of humanity and our determination. Let's make sure to document everything and prepare for any potential follow-up." The crew of the Endurance set to work, documenting the battle and conducting repairs on their ship. The victory was significant, and its impact would resonate throughout the galaxy. The alien fleet's annihilation was a clear message of humanity's resolve and capability. As the Endurance drifted through the aftermath of the battle, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter. The crew knew that they had faced a dire threat and emerged victorious. The story of their bravery and resilience would be told for years to come, a testament to humanity's strength and determination. In the quiet of space, with the remnants of the alien fleet floating as a grim reminder of their defeat, the crew of the Endurance prepared for the future. The galaxy had witnessed their triumph, and humanity had made its mark in the annals of interstellar history. The aftermath. In the quiet aftermath of the battle, the Endurance drifted through the wreckage of the once mighty alien fleet. The space around them was filled with the twisted remains of enemy ships, floating like ghostly remnants of a conflict that had turned the tide in humanity's favor. The crew of the Endurance had fought hard, and now the silence was both a relief and a reminder of the intense struggle they had endured. Captain Sarah Bennett stood at the bridge, her eyes scanning the debris field. The crew was busy with their tasks, securing the ship and assessing the damage. The victory was significant, but the cost had been high. The Endurance was damaged, and its crew was tired but victorious. "Captain, we've completed the initial damage assessment," reported Lieutenant Harris. "We've got some systems offline, but nothing we can't handle. We're also picking up distress signals from a few surviving alien craft." Bennett nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Let's prioritize the distress signals. If there are any survivors, we need to rescue them. They might have valuable information, or could help us understand the enemy better." The crew of the Endurance went to work, focusing on the distress signals. Small, damaged alien ships were drifting through the debris field, their distress signals flickering weakly. The Endurance maneuvered carefully among the wreckage, using its remaining systems to locate and assist the surviving vessels. One by one, the crew made contact with the damaged alien craft. They provided assistance, offering to help repair and stabilize their systems. The survivors were a mix of alien species, many of whom were shaken and disoriented. The alien crews were initially wary, but soon realized that the humans meant them no harm. In the ship's infirmary, medical teams worked tirelessly to tend to the wounded alien survivors. The sight of humans helping their former enemies was a testament to the crew's professionalism and compassion. Captain Bennett, standing in the doorway of the infirmary, watched as the medics worked with a quiet sense of pride. "Their injuries are severe, but we're doing what we can," reported Dr. Foster, the chief medical officer. "We've stabilized most of them, but it's going to take time for them to fully recover." "Thank you, Doctor," Bennett replied. "Let's make sure we continue to offer them the best care possible. They'd been through a lot, and we owe it to them to help." As the Endurance continued to provide aid, the crew began to sift through the wreckage for any useful materials or information. The alien ship's logs and data were recovered, offering insights into the alien fleet's operations and tactics. The intelligence gathered would be crucial for future encounters and understanding the alien threat. Lieutenant Harris analyzed the data with his team, looking for any critical information. "Captain, we've found some interesting data in the alien logs. It looks like they were planning a larger invasion force. This battle might have been just a small part of their overall strategy." "Good work," Bennett said. "We need to report this to command as soon as possible. This information could change our understanding of their capabilities and intentions." The crew of the Endurance worked around the clock, repairing their ship and processing the information they had gathered. Despite the victory, there was a clear sense of urgency. The knowledge of a potentially larger threat loomed over them, and preparations for future actions were already underway. In the days that followed, the Endurance made its way back to Allied space, escorting the surviving alien vessels to a safe location. The journey was slow, but the crew's spirits were high. They had achieved a decisive victory and demonstrated humanity's resilience and strength. As the Endurance approached its home base, the crew was met with a hero's welcome. The victory had not only secured their immediate safety, but had also sent a powerful message across the galaxy. Humanity had proven itself a formidable force, capable of standing its ground against overwhelming odds. Captain Bennett addressed her crew in a special ceremony held on the ship's observation deck. "I want to thank each and every one of you for your incredible efforts. This victory was hard-earned, and it was only possible because of your dedication, courage, and skill. We've faced tremendous challenges and emerged stronger because of it." The crew applauded, their faces reflecting the pride and exhaustion of their journey. They had fought bravely, and their success was a testament to their collective strength and resolve. In the days that followed, the Endurance was repaired and refitted, ready for its next mission. The battle had changed them all, and the crew carried with them the lessons and experiences of their harrowing journey. They had faced an immense threat and triumphed, proving that humanity was not only capable of defending itself, but also of rising to meet any challenge. As the Endurance set out on its next assignment, the crew was united by their shared experience. They had shown the galaxy what humanity was capable of and had made their mark in the stars. The aftermath of the battle was a new beginning, a chance to continue their journey and face whatever came next with the same courage and determination that had brought them victory. Looking ahead, the Endurance floated in the vast expanse of space, its repairs nearly complete and its crew ready for their next mission. The battle against the alien fleet had been a significant victory, but it was only the beginning of a new chapter for humanity. As the ship prepared to set out once again, the crew took stock of their experiences and looked ahead to the future. Captain Sarah Bennett stood on the bridge, surveying the bustling activity around her. The crew was focused and determined, their earlier exhaustion replaced by a renewed sense of purpose. The victory had brought them closer together, and now they were eager to build on their success. "Captain, all systems are operational," reported Lieutenant Harris, his tone professional and confident. "We're ready for our next mission whenever you are." "Thank you, Lieutenant," Bennett replied, nodding in approval. "Let's take a moment to review our next steps. We need to ensure that we're fully prepared for any potential threats or challenges that lie ahead." The crew gathered in the conference room, where a tactical briefing was underway. The battle data collected from the alien fleet had been analyzed, revealing important insights into their strategy and technology. The information was crucial for understanding the enemy and preparing for future encounters. "Based on the data we've gathered, it's clear that the alien fleet was part of a larger operation," Lieutenant Harris explained, projecting the data onto a screen. "They were planning a more extensive invasion, which means there could be more forces out there." Captain Bennett reviewed the information, her expression thoughtful. "We need to stay vigilant and be prepared for any further incursions. Our next mission will involve exploring the areas where the alien fleet was operating to ensure there are no additional threats." The crew nodded in agreement. The victory over the alien fleet had been a significant achievement, but the potential for future conflicts meant they needed to remain focused and proactive. The Endurance would continue to serve as a frontline defense, ready to respond to any new threats. Dr. Foster, the ship's chief medical officer, addressed the crew. "The medical teams have completed their analysis of the alien survivors we rescued. They've provided valuable insights into their physiology and technology. This information will help us in future encounters and improve our medical protocols." "That's excellent work, Doctor," Bennett said. "Understanding our enemies better will give us a crucial advantage. We must use this knowledge to enhance our preparedness and response strategies." With the ship's systems restored and the crew ready, the Endurance set course for its next destination. The crew worked together seamlessly, their camaraderie evident in their interactions. They were no longer just a group of individuals, but a united team, bound by their shared experiences and their commitment to protecting humanity. As the Endurance traveled through space, the crew took time to reflect on their journey. Each member of the team had faced tremendous challenges and demonstrated incredible bravery. The battle against the alien fleet had been a trial by fire, but it had strengthened their resolve and sharpened their skills. Lieutenant Harris took a moment to speak with Captain Bennett. "Captain, I've been thinking about the impact of our victory. It's more than just a strategic win. It's a message to the galaxy about what humanity is capable of." Bennett nodded, her gaze fixed on the stars outside. "Yes, it is. Our success shows that we are not to be underestimated. We've proven that humanity can stand against even the most formidable opponents and emerge victorious. It's a message of strength and resilience." As the Endurance approached its new mission area, the crew prepared for the unknown. The galaxy was vast, and the potential for new discoveries and challenges was endless. The crew knew that their journey was far from over, and that there would be more obstacles to overcome. The ship's sensors detected anomalies in the nearby space, hinting at possible new threats or opportunities. The crew's excitement and anticipation were palpable as they prepared to investigate. The Endurance was ready to explore new frontiers and continue its mission to safeguard humanity. Captain Bennett addressed the crew once more before they embarked on their new mission. "We've achieved a great victory, but our work is far from done. We must remain vigilant and ready for whatever comes next. Our mission is to explore, to defend, and to ensure that humanity's presence is known and respected across the galaxy." The crew cheered in agreement, their spirits high and their determination unwavering. They were prepared for the challenges ahead, knowing that they had the skills, knowledge, and resolve to face whatever came their way. As the Endurance set off into the unknown, the crew looked ahead with hope and determination. The battle with the alien fleet had been a significant milestone, but it was just one part of their ongoing journey. The galaxy was filled with mysteries and opportunities, and the crew of the Endurance was ready to face them all. The stars stretched out before them, a vast canvas of possibilities. The crew of the Endurance knew that their journey would be filled with new challenges and discoveries, but they faced the future with confidence, united by their shared experiences and their commitment to exploring and protecting the galaxy. The Endurance continued its voyage, a symbol of humanity's strength and resilience. The battle with the alien fleet had forged a new path, and the crew was eager to see where it would lead. As they ventured into the unknown, they carried with them the lessons of their victory and the hope of a bright future.